Hey all, Tony Bing here, hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, with it being the start of a new month, that means we actually will have a new login calendar for Marvel Strike Force, and some people that are in different time zones in the world have actually got access to that login calendar already. Now, it's been leaked onto Reddit, and Reddit is in a bit of a uproar over it because the changes don't look to be beneficial towards players. So the whole purpose of this video is what I've done. I've sat down with a pen and paper for a good hour or so and I've broke everything down so we can actually see what we're gaining and then what we're losing as well with this change here. So what we'll do first off, we'll start off by looking at the previous rewards you would get. So this would be the rewards that most people will still have active at the moment and they were running through the month of July. Now, just before we do actually run over these, I will mention that I've also included the new rewards as well. They'll simply show us 0 if we weren't getting them previously. So with the previous calendar, you would get 51 shards for a character that was chosen for that particular month. You would get 600 power orb fragments, 720 power cores, which is exceptionally nice, and gold would come in at 129,500 gold you would get. We then got some training modules, so it was 2 level 2 training modules, it was 10 level 3 training modules, and finally 29 level 4 training modules. Now adding all that up, that would give us a total of 23,500 experience in total. Now the categories here at the bottom, you can see the ones I've mentioned, so these will be added in for the new calendar. So for this existing calendar, I've simply got all them shown as 0 there. So let's check out the new calendar now. So with this new calendar then, to make it nice and easy, I have colour coded this now. If we firstly look at the shards you're getting, so it's 40 shards, that means that we are losing 11 shards. I've put any gains or losses as plus or minus in brackets after the relevant category. If we look at the power orb fragments, they're going down to 0, so we're losing 600 of them. We then have the power cores, they're dropping to 0, so that's a whopping 720 power cores we are losing each month, and that actually has a knock-on effect on other things we can gain, and I'll cover that in the next section. When it comes to gold, we actually get enough shards now to open one of the gold orbs, so that means you can get anywhere in the region from 90,000 to 3 million golds. That means you could potentially lose with this, you could lose in the region of 39,000, or if you were extremely lucky and got 3 of the million shards, which I don't think could happen really, you would get 2.8 million there. Now, we are losing the training modules as well, however, you'll notice this is highlighted in green. The reason for that is we will get enough shards to actually get a 1 training orb. Now, this is where we'll go a little bit deeper into the numbers side of things. Now, 1 training orb can actually give you anywhere from between 38,400 experience or a whopping 120,000 experience. That means that it is a net gain. The net gain could be anywhere from 14,900 to 96,500, so pretty huge there. We then gain some crafting materials here, so in total it's 42, and that breaks down to 12 blue catalysts and then 30 purple catalysts. And finally, another new thing that's been added to this calendar is the ability materials. So we get 15 of the green. They're pretty useless. If you're like myself, you'll have literally thousands of them. The blues are getting to the point where they're pretty useless now because we have so many of them, but you get 45 of them. And then finally, we have the level 3 ability mats. That's the purple ones. These are very important, and we get 30 of them in a month, with the minimum you can actually spend to upgrade a skill being 65, I believe, with the majority of the skills requiring 120 of them. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to break down what you can do with the power cores and what you can gain, so let's check that out. Okay, so I hope you're still keeping up with me here. So we've got the 720 power cores. Now, if you're spending them the way you should be, what you do is you buy your 3 refreshes per day that cost 150 power cores. So in total, that would give you 14 refreshes, and you'd be sitting with an additional 20 power cores left over there. Now, 14 refreshes would equate to 1,680 energy. That's a huge amount. Now, with 1,680 energy, if we look at boss levels you can run, and let's just say they cost 20 energy, so that is the max. So I'm actually being conservative here. That would give you 82 runs at a boss level. Now, if we break this down, what can you actually get for that? So 82 runs at a high level would get you 352,800 gold. It's a huge amount. It would get you 4,100 basic orb fragments, so that equates to between 2 or 10 shards for a character. Training modules wise, because you do gain them, you would get enough training modules to give you 49,200 experience. You would gain 82 of the level 1 ability mats, that's the green ones. It's pretty useless, but we are gaining them there. And then finally you've got the all important character shards and crafting materials. Now this is one that I had to make a rough guess at how much you've gained. Other ones are exact. This one here I just said, for example, that every 3 times you run a level you may get a character shard or you may get a crafting mat. So if you actually calculate that, it would mean that your 14 refreshes could give you 54 character shards, or it could give you 27 crafting materials. Now with that all in mind, let's look at it all added up and actually see what we're gaining and losing here. So with this breakdown here, what I've done is I've got the new calendar, I've removed the loss of the 720 power cores, and I've included everything that was in the last section and added it all up here. So you can see we've got a lot more reds, or we've got whites, where there's not really been any noticeable difference. So in regards to shards, you can see this has dropped down further and we're actually losing up to 66 shards per month now. Now your premium orb fragments, that stays the same, we're still losing 600 of them. Your gold gains change quite a bit, so potentially with the gold you could lose 392,000 or you could gain 2.5 million. Now, given that the vast majority of gold orbs that I know I've opened have only had either 30,000 or 42,000 in it, I would actually mark this down as a loss here, because on average I think the vast majority of gold orbs you will be opening will be worth less than what you were actually getting when you include the power cores and the gold that was in the calendar. Now next up we look at the training modules, and these actually move from being a net gain to potentially a loss here. So if you include the experience we talked about in the last section, you could actually lose 34,000 experience, or you could gain 47,000 experience. That's just come down by a fair bit there. You've then got your catalyst. So if we look at them, this has dropped a little bit, but it is still a net gain. So if you look at the catalyst you can get dropping during levels, we now have a net gain of 15, whereas before it was actually a net gain of 42, so that's come down a fair amount again. Next up we have the level 1 ability mats. These are pretty useless to be honest, but just for the purpose of covering everything, now you will be looking to lose 67 of them every time you actually complete the month and spend your cores the way were mentioned in the last section. And then you've got your level 2 and 3 ability mats. The gain in them stays the same, so it's 45 for level 2 and 30 for level 3. Now I'm just going to quickly summarise it all here just so it makes a bit more sense. So final section coming up. So this here will hopefully make a lot more sense then. So we start off with the gains. Now you've got your blue and purple catalysts, where you'll be looking to gain roughly about 15 of them per month. You've got your level 2 and 3 ability mats, so it's an additional 45 and an additional 30, but as mentioned you need in the region of 120 level 3 ability mats to upgrade the vast majority of skills. Now when we look at the losses, you've got the huge 66 shards there. Premium orb fragments, you're still losing them at 600. Gold can be a potential loss, and in most instances it will be, due to how often the 30,000 and 42,000 orbs actually crop up. And then you've got the level 1 ability mats, which you're losing as well. And then finally, one that goes either way is a training XP, so you can lose 34,000 or gain 47,000 there. Now, there's been a lot of changes made to the game recently that have been quite rightly unpopular with the community. I feel that we need to see some clear wins coming from the developers in regards to how the players are actually being treated, and this isn't it at all. Now, saying that, as I was working on this video on Reddit, the developers have come in and they have stated that this monthly calendar will be running alongside a new weekly calendar that they didn't yet have time to implement. Now, I don't know if that's been brought in on the back of the uproar that's been in Reddit already, or this genuinely was planned, but this weekly calendar, it really has to offer enough so that we are gaining from the changes to this monthly calendar. It can't be a loss and it can't be a break even, because we need a win at this point, because it's been a pretty tough 6 weeks or so for the players within the game. As much as new great characters have came out, there's been so many changes that are really tough, and today in fact got into the level 6 new Thanos raids, and considering we can only go up to level 65 difficulty and I'm in a top 50 alliance myself, it just seems overtuned too far, and we're not getting the tier 4 ability materials from either, so that is disappointing in that respect. But I hope this breakdown has actually been useful. When we get more information on what the weekly rewards are, I'll actually probably go back and probably look to add it on in a similar video to this, and we can see if we are actually gaining or losing here. But as always, thanks for tuning in for this. I'll see you all again soon.